Hey guys, it's Code Synthesizer here, and so now today I'm going to show you guys how to align elements to the center of your parent element based on both horizontal and vertical CSS properties. So to do this, we're going to be using Flex, as it is very powerful and very useful. So now I'm just going to create a container to show. So I'm in fact going to use Jade. So I'm just going to set it to Jade. I'm going to be using Sass here like this. So basically it means that I can write in Jade for my HTML and then Sass for my CSS. However, if you do need to see the original CSS and Jade, I guess you can't read the CSS or Jade, you can just say view compiled and then it'll compile the Sass into regular CSS that you can use. So yeah, I don't know why that's called that, but anyway, let's start. So I'm going to create a div with the class flex align-horizontal. And then I'm just going to give another div in it called child, let's just say. Okay, so now we can go and let's just style the child very quickly. Style the child, that sounds kind of funny. Okay, so we're going to say like the width is 200 pixels, height, I need to write width correctly. Height 200 pixels, background is 000. So there it is. Now I'm going to actually create a flex-row, like flex container, I guess would be better, then align horizontal, and you'll see why. So basically what we're going to do now is we're going to go to our dot flex/container. And I'm just going to set the width to 100%, but you can set the width to anything. So the width could be 400 pixels, it could be whatever you want really. As long as the container is larger than the child, this will work. So we're going to say width is 100%, height is 400 pixels, for example. And we're going to get the background red, just so that way you can see how, so this is, as you can see it. So now we're going to use the dot align horizontal. So first of all, we need to display flex. So display flex. So now it depends if you want either your flex element, your children, to be in a row or not. So I'm going to in fact add another selector. So I'm going to create two. However, the second one here is going to have something called a class called column. So now I'm also just going to give a margin, just so that way we can easily separate them better. Yeah, that will do. So yeah, so here we are. So now this one will have multiple children, right, because these ones are meant to be in line. And just a different, yeah, so that'll do. So now let's say if it's so then we're gonna say flex-direction row. So that way it knows, so it'll automatically assume that it's a row. But if we do specify that we want a column, and we just simply give the column class, and then we say flex-direction column. And so now just to give an example of that, if we create another div here, we should have unless this one show up. Yeah, okay, it doesn't want to show up. That's very interesting. Okay, so there's actually a problem. There we go. So there's two right now here, but if we save it, okay, I think it worked. Alright, so now let's move on. So now we're gonna say, oh, my bad, that's because I didn't put the and selector. So basically, so as you can see now, here we have 3 rows while here we have 2. So I'm in fact going to make it even easier to differentiate the children by adding a border solid FFF 1 pixel. So we can see the different children. So as you can see here, they are, in fact, and I'm going to add min-height so that way it can expand. You can see, so that way, because right now the height is 400 pixels. However, if we add another child, we want to be able to expand the container so that way it can fit the children. Because if it doesn't expand, then sometimes you can have really awkward situations where basically, I guess, how do you describe it? I guess like basically the children would overflow from the div, and then the div below it would be really weirdly affected. So just give a min-height, especially for flex containers. Yeah, that's just my advice. So now we want to align horizontal. So now I'm going to say and dot align dash horizontal. So now this really depends if you have flex direction row or flex direction column. So now for right now, we're just going to assume that you have no columns, so it's a row. And then we saw, say, justify dash content center, I believe. Oh, I have an invalid. Yeah, so CodePen has really iffy indentation. Like like I have it. Oh, yeah, this is my indentation problem. So yeah, I mean, CodePen's indentation not the best, but as you can see, just like that, we automatically align our div horizontally. And if I can get an eye, yeah, and basically, if you would collapse this with the 50%, for example, like that, you can see it still aligns it until you get smaller. Then, once it gets smaller, the flex actually forces the children to be smaller. So if you want to avoid this, you just say min dash width 200 pixels. So that way you force the children to be the right size. But as you can see, if we say 650 pixels, like that, 630, so it perfectly aligns it every time. So I'm just gonna say the width again, 100%. So now let's align this one to the center. So now since we gave the flex direction column, what it means is that now basically the justify content and align dash item selectors switch which access the effect. So normally if you have a flex direction row, which is the default state for flex, justify content moves the content on the horizontal axis, while align items moves the content on the vertical axis. However, when you have a column, then you have then the justify content justifies content to the vertically, while align items justifies content horizontally. So yes, it is quite annoying, but that's just how it works. So then I'm going to say and dot column align dash items center. So as you can see, now it aligns it to the center. However, right now, if we go to 500 pixels, for example, I believe, oh right, this is actually, yeah, so since this is expanding, I need to give it a bigger value like this. But as you can see, it's aligning this content here to the center of the vertical and horizontal, and we don't want that. So we're just gonna reset the justify content to flex start, which is the start of the flex. So now it'll only be aligned horizontally and not vertically. There, like this, as you can see, it's not in the middle. So that's how you do that. So I'm gonna just shrink these again in size, so you can't really tell, because otherwise it's really annoying. In fact, I'm just gonna make it smaller. I'm just gonna remove a child from here. Okay, so ta-da, like that. So now we're gonna copy both of these, and so now we're gonna say the exact opposite: vertical and vertical. Vertical. Okay, so now you'll have these two down here. I should in fact switch my view. There you go. This should hopefully be clear for you guys to see now. I just realized that it may have not been the clearest, so hopefully this is better for you guys. So now we're gonna say, it's pretty much gonna be the same as this. We're just gonna say, I just want to make sure it's indented right. By God. So then we're gonna say and dot align dash vertical. We're gonna say align dash items center. So now if we go to this container, I believe, right? Oh no, well I spelled align wrong. Align dash vertical. As you can see, these items are gonna be aligned vertically. However, these ones are not. They're back in the center, like this one, which we do not want. So again, we're gonna go into our column class, and then we are gonna say justify dash contents flex dash center, my bad, enter, and then align dash items flex dash start. So now bam, it'll take it back to the front, and if we just make it a little bit bigger so that we can see, it's aligned to the center. And so basically like this, you can align any element you want to the center of your grid, and it's fully responsive because, yeah, and also you don't require, you know, things like position absolute. It's very easy to use. And the problem with position absolute is that if you have other elements inside of the parent, it becomes like a hassle to work with that position absolute element, which is why you would only have one element usually. But with flex, you could really create powerful grids. You know, you could align the grids horizontally and vertically. And so lastly, we're just going to create one selector which does both, align vertical, horizontal. I'm going to save. So now we're going to go back. This one, yep. Okay, so and dot align dash horizontal dash vertical. Horizontal. Now we're going to say justify. And so it should be the very bottom one here. Justify dash content center. Align dash items center. And so in fact we do not need to specify if it's a column or not, since if it's a column, then that means that it's still, since we have both the align items and the justify content selectors having a center, it means that even if your flex direction is column or row, your thing will still be in the center, because either way both axes are positioned to center. So yeah, so basically this is how you can create a very simple alignment of items in a parent container, and you can do pretty much anything. So let's say you have like a main container inside the parent, which is not inside the body, for example, which is 800 pixels. You can set the body to flex and just align it along the horizontal axis to center, so that way it'll be perfectly centered every single time. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. And like I'll just give you an example of how easy it is to use. Let's say I want these to be not in a row. I'm gonna say column, and then it will not work. Okay. Why doesn't it work? Column. Oh, that's because I'm not looking. Am I looking at the right one? Oh, I'm not looking at the right one. Okay, that makes more sense. So now this one is not meant to be a column. So I'll switch it like that. Bam. It's back to horizontal like that. So it's very simple to use. Oh yes, yes, it's pretty simple to use. And all of this code is on CodePen. I'll link it in the description. And again, if you can't read, if you don't know how to read Jade or SAS, then you can just compile both like this, and everything will be compiled for you. Yeah, but however, they just please note they do not in fact auto prefix things for you. So this is not browser friendly at the moment. I do not believe you. Oh no, you can auto prefix. So save and close. So now I believe if we recompile this SAS, it'll be auto prefix for you guys, because as you can see, there's different types of flex. There's MS Flexbox, WebKit Flex, WebKit Box. So you need to make sure to have all of these if you want the best cross-browser compatibility. So yeah, so I was Code Synthesizer. If you guys enjoyed this quick tutorial on how to align items to the center of either the horizontal or vertical axis using flex, leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for watching.